Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go fast, and he starts with a bingo. I have the blank, but the rest of my rack does not look particularly bingo-y. I certainly can't see a 7. I'm looking at the floaters to see if an 8 springs to mind. I have Zabba Yoni through, well, I was going to say through a Z, but I also have it through an N, so I do have a bingo. And I think I'm going to play this because I think it's very unlikely that there's a better one. The tiles look slightly different. I don't know if there's been a software change. Okay, so Zabayoni 82. Not good. A long way from a bingo. I've got Guaco, which should play off 5 of these tiles. The Via Veteran obstructs columns 7 and 9, so I may not have anywhere for it. Great, my opponent challenges, he loses 5 points. Now I could play Guaco through the second A of Zabayoni, and that stays available. A good score for my opponent, 55 points. Zap takes an S. So this is what I was thinking of. It doesn't score very much. It sticks a vowel next to a premium square. It keeps a vowel-heavy rack leave. So all of those are bad things, but it's a bad rack. And I don't think it's giving too much away. Not good. I draw 4 consonants, so the vowel heaviness of the leave is not a problem. What is a problem is this rack, which is a long way from a bingo. And it looks pretty non-synergetic. Wow, my opponent gets 82. He's had a flying start, 2 bingos and a 50-point Z play. I'm now over 100 points behind. My M can go underneath the E of relearns, but I haven't got an E for going underneath the R, so I would have to play to the right. And I can't see a way of playing off any of my D's and G's, and I need to make some headway into those. H1, or row H rather, has some hotness. Now I have Dogma on my rack, and I could play that at D1. That would certainly sort the rack out. Quite an open play. Well, I can also play it in row K, which is slightly safer. Zabayoni only takes an S. So Dogma 24. I'm just pausing in case there's an obviously better spot. I want to keep the board open because I'm behind. And I think this does that. That looks a bit better. I'm wondering about red foot. I think that's good, but is there anywhere for it? Dogma only takes an S. Not many 7-letter lanes on this board. No available S's for red foots. Now, footed is good through an E and re-footed. So, just when my opponent's played, he's now had 3 bingos and a 50-point Z play. This S not quite in the right spot for red foots. And the E of relearns not available for footed. So, is there a bingo that does play? I've got food as a component part of a word with ret. Now there's the A of Zabbioni. Can't see anything there. The F is not a particularly bingo-y tile. So footed, refooted. Is there another one there? There may be. Now, I don't think I have got a playable bingo. So, where to play off the F? I note that it can go underneath this E of relearns. I'm just wondering if I have an FOT play. I don't think I do. So where else can I play my F? And I don't really want to block the board up. I'm wondering about playing in column 5. If I could get my F on this double letter square. But I can't see a way of doing that apart from Trafe, which keeps 2 O's, which isn't good. So where else for my F? Well, I can play food under dogma, and that keeps a decent rack leave. It is blocking the board somewhat, but most moves would. Food, 35. I draw the X. So through an O, I would have exterior, the O of Guaco in the wrong spot. Just wondering if there's anything through the A of Zabbioni. I don't think so. So now my X can go underneath this E of relearn. So I could play Rex, which would leave a fantastic, well, a pretty good rack leave of tier, and it would score well. And I could do with some high scoring short words because I'm a long way behind. That might be the best play even if a bingo is available because the tire leave is very good and it goes well with the S of websites. However, if there is a bingo here, I would like to be aware of it to consider it before deciding not to play it. Probably the Z and the A are the best floaters. Well, I think the Z and the A and the S are pretty much the only floaters. I guess the O if it's in exactly 5th place. But I can't see a bingo through any of those. At the moment I've only got Rex in row F, so if my opponent blocks that, I haven't got an alternative play. Well, I have exit in row H. Right, well, my opponent slows down, only 36 points for him, and he's opened row N as a bingo lane and column 15, so that's all good. I don't have a play through a bingo through the T of Ayont. So I am playing Rex up here. And this takes a G and a P in front, 53. I have Katia and Citrate. Do either of those play? I don't think so. It's Scatia through an S and Citrates. I'm over 100 points behind. Goa rather takes a T, a D and an S. So if there were an anagram ending in T, I would be able to play it, but I don't think there is with this rack. Well, how frustrating having a bingo on one's rack and not being able to play it. Column 12 and 11 are bingo lanes through ST and NI, but it's difficult to spot 9-letter words, especially when the floaters are separated. I can't see anything through the O of guaco. Now, what about the T of a yont? So a 3T bingo. Can't see anything. Well, this is now quite a tricky rack. Fortunately, my opponent's taking a while with his move, which gives me a little more thinking time. I'm just wondering if there is something through the S. So Scatia citrates, neither of those plays, does something else. Well, I can't see it. The B is Zabbioni, not a floater for a bingo because nothing goes in front of the C. Okay, a new floater in the D. So, what about citrated? Tetracid is good, and tetradic, great. Well, I feel more confident about these. I think they all score the same. Yeah, so I'm going to play tetracid. I'm sure of this. 86. And I draw the blank and a pretty good rack. I'm only 50 points behind. And there are floaters available. Okay, my opponent continuing to score well. He's 90 points ahead. But I've got a bingo-y rack. He's taken out the floaters, the Z and the A. The W not particularly useful. But row N is available for a 7-letter bingo, and the S of websites is available. I think row N is likely to be a better one. So I need to find a bingo which plays in row N. I suspect there's more than one. And I'm just wondering about the S, because Miss Falney is good in flames. And there's a third one there. Anyway, let me look for a 7. Life Man would play, but I'm not sure of it. Well, that's in flame. In flame does play. In fact, in 3 different spots. Yeah, just one of which gets doubled. I've got 12 minutes. There's only 18 tiles left. It would be good if either my F or my M could get stuck on this triple letter square. That would significantly improve the score. So I am going to look for a better bingo. Not seen anything yet. Still nothing. Foil men? Possibly. Although I think it's foils men. Filament through an A. Okay, well, I'm going to put in flame down. There may be a better bingo, but I haven't seen it. Oh, that's annoying. My blank going on the triple letter square. £74 points, just wondering if I should spend longer looking for a better bingo. I think I will go with this. Great, I draw the Q with the U. This looks a very balanced rack. I've got equip and prex in column 3. So I'm now 16 points behind. Now, what about Pekist? What about Pekist? Let me see what this looks like. If this isn't good, I'm confusing it with something which is. My opponent has blocked my equip spot. Pekist 92. I think I'm going to try this. I'm just waiting for this to be challenged. It stays on. Fantastic. That is superb. I'm now 50 points in front. I've got a grim rack. My opponent's got a bingo-y rack. So if he bingos now, he wins. But I think I'm far enough ahead that if he doesn't bingo, I can hang on. I've got a lot of high-scoring tiles. I'm going to struggle to play all of them, although I note that Husky would achieve that. But I can't see anywhere for it. Wow, Pekist, fantastic. And look at that, 1, 2, 3 back-to-back bingos. But the game is not over yet. Now, my Y can go underneath the F. My U can go underneath the N, but UY not particularly useful. I've got nothing for going after the Y, so that's not useful unless I can play in column 4, and I can't. Suck is good, S-U-K-H. That would play off 2 of the high-scoring tiles. At the moment, I have seen nothing. Now, what about Hulky? I think Hulky is good, and that would certainly secure the win if my opponent doesn't bingo. Wow, 47 points. So, key move now. If I play Hulky and it comes off, I lose. What I could do is play Hulks, which I'm... Oh, I can't play Hulks. Hulky is either good or it's one of those words which I think is good, and it isn't. I've got 9 minutes to make my mind up. Just looking at my opponent's 2-letter words, they're all good. My opponent certainly can play his eye off in more than one spot. He's got sit, and he's got li. So a phony now would be the end for me. Ah, well, I can play sulky. I'm pretty sure Hulky is good, but I would be so annoyed to throw this game away, having come back from such a deficit. So sulky for 40. I'll lose 10 on count back. Yeah, this has got to be good enough. Just wait for my opponent to play his eye off somewhere. I haven't looked around for the best spot for him, but he's not going to make 30 points with it, I don't think. And he'll get 10 points from me. So he's 45 points behind. He needs to score 35, and he scores 6. Pass to end the game. That is an unexpected win. So the final score, 473 to my opponent, 502 to me. A very tight win and a very high-scoring game. Let's see what I missed. So this was my opponent's rack, and he got off to a fabulous start with veteran. This was my rack, Zabioni, the only bingo, so delighted to have spotted that. My opponent's rack, he played Zap for 55, that's best. And my rack, pretty awful. Ah, Cougar, I didn't think of that. That would have been a nice play. Yeah, my move, K9. Is that what I played? No, wow, I could have played Peg and Guaco for a bigger score, so Guaco definitely suboptimal. My opponent's rack, another bingo for him, and another non-bingo-y rack for me. Didn't see Goddamn, D1. Yeah, that would have been nice, and Dogdom would have been nice. Dodgem I didn't see. I played Dogma at K9 for 24. Again, an inferior move to the best one. And this was a great spot for my opponent. Websites. And at this point, I am 159 points behind. So I'm not in good shape at all, and I have nowhere for the bingos that I have on my rack. And there was no bingo. Footed L10. Ah, making of and so on. So running underneath Dogma, that's quite nice. Instead I played Food for 7 fewer points than keeping a better rack leave. Food is better. My opponent's rack, he plays a Yont. Now things get a bit better for me, or a lot better. I play Rex for 53, keeping Tyre, and Tyre I think is 10 points better than IR. J15, yeah. Texter quite nice in column 15, and it's taking out an opportunity that my opponent can use, so there would be an argument for playing Texter, but I prefer Rex. My opponent's rack, not great, but he's still in pretty good shape. He's 130 ahead, but now I have a fabulous run of bingos. Citrated was good, but it scored the same as Tetracid. Quite a nice rack for my opponent. Yeah, he plays Whinge for a good score. And now this was a fabulous pickup. And wow, Inflame at N4 is the highest scoring placement, not the placement which gets doubled. However, it places the I over this double letter square and therefore invites a high scoring short play in row O, which I don't want to give my opponent. So I think, whoops, what am I doing? I play at N2 for 6 fewer points, and I still like that because it doesn't have the danger of the row O play. And before I move on, I just noticed the other available bingos, which were Full Mine and Film Set and Lift Men, none of which I saw. Now my opponent's rack is deteriorating, and his lead is now only 16 points. He plays Libel, which is a nice play for 29, and now I get super lucky and have Pakist for 92. And now we're in the end game. I'm 52 points in front. My opponent has to bingo to win. He has no bingo. Ladino is a great spot by him. And now, yeah, Hulky is good, but only 6 points better than Sulky. Okay, but the countback is less as well. So Hulky certainly superior, but if you have doubts about a word and you can guarantee a win with a word you're sure of, then the latter is the path to take. And then my opponent, let me just check what he could have done with his eye. Not very much. In fact, his play was best. So, a thrilling game, very exciting. I thought that the game was lost when my opponent got off to such a good start, but you need to just keep looking at your own rack and playing the winningest move, however forlorn your chances look, and sometimes they turn around. I was super lucky in this game. 3 back-to-back bingos is not down to skill. There is skill in spotting the bingos, but there's a huge amount of luck in actually drawing a bingo from 7 random tiles. But it does happen, and it happened in this game. So I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I will see you next time.